Alright, after studying all my pictures, I'm going to reassemble my choke with all these various pieces. Okay, first thing, just to make a note, this piece goes on here. And that's where it's going to end up. But first we'll take this, put this onto this cam here. I believe it goes above, like, or below. No, it does go above. Yeah, above like that. And next, we have this piece of linkage, which goes in there like that. It's tough to do one-handed. Okay, I wiggled that in there, and that just rests out here for now, because later on the other end of that goes onto the air horn right there. Next, I need to do the fun part, which is getting this down in here, and at the same time onto the cam you see here. So I'm going to put the camera down and do that. Okay, an attempt to show how to hook up the choke linkage. I have the float bowl tilted on its side, and the rod hangers in between my fingers, and I've slid the clip down in there, and if I can show it to you, I will try to line it up while I'm filming here. And it's getting close. See if I can get it back in there. Okay, as you can see, I've lined it up. Now I'm going to pick up the choke and place it in there with my hand that's holding the camera. So what I'm doing now is trying to line up the cam with the clip. And I'm sliding my fingers down a little so it lines up with the cam. And hopefully it'll slide in. I actually got it to work once. I'm doing it again for the camera, and obviously it's not going as quickly. Okay, I managed to get it in there. As you can see, I'm operating the choke, and I lined up the choke with that hole right there because there's a vacuum plug. I'll show you. There, I just inserted the vacuum plug. That's where that goes. So basically it's functioning, and the next step is to insert the screw that goes in here to hold it all in place, which is down there. And another thing I noticed was on the top of the choke there's this little nipple here. If you look behind it, there's actually a little piece of metal that it goes on, so it helps line up how far the choke should be in. So it's back on now. And before I tighten it, I just wanted to demonstrate that it does in fact operate. Okay, so we will put the screw in here. and get this all buttoned up. And of course, let's see what I'm doing wrong. Came loose. Okay, and of course I forgot this little piece here, so I undid the screw again and slid it in between right there, and then retighten the screw and see if we can get the next step done. Alright, I'm ready to install the float bowl gasket here, and that's going to go on here shortly, but I have the old one still, and I looked at it to see the markings to know where the indents are, so I know that this is right side up and this one is matching it, so they're right side up. And I'm going to make the perforated bend here for the metering rods, and we will attempt to put this on here, put it through the choke rod there, and work on the rods here. See if I can get this right. So I guess you poke it through. Through the choke rod there. Poke it through the bottom, slip it on underneath, and then back flat, so it looks sort of right. Let's get this on the pins here. Whoop. Okay. Get that on the pins there. Let's see what is the issue here. It's the float clip. So I guess that's going to be a bit snug when it goes down. As you can see, I'm double checking the old gasket, and in fact there is an indentation for where the float clip was underneath, so I guess that's normal on mine. Alright, continuing on, we have the old accelerator pump and spring, and here we have the new one from the kit. So the spring goes in here. The accelerator pump will go in there, and obviously with the spring pressure that isn't going to want to stay in there, so we're going to have some fun with that in a minute. Alright, I probably won't be able to film this, but the air horn has to go on now because the air horn gasket's on, and you can see the choke rod sticking out there, and that has to go through this hole. So we would probably tilt the air horn sideways, get it through the choke rod, tilt it back, careful to watch the bleed holes to get them in the proper holes, and at the same time holding down the accelerator pump so it can go through its hole here. So I probably can't film this, but I will start up when we're done. Well, I placed the air horn on. Accelerator pump is still working. Hasn't been screwed in yet, but side note, I realized that this bracket I had installed backwards on here, so I took everything off and then put this bracket linkage on correctly and put the choke back on, and then redid the air horn with the choke linkage here, accelerator pump, and now I think the next step is to bolt on the air horn with the 9 screws.